The night Rachel left her phone on my kitchen counter, I almost destroyed a life without even touching the screen. It was 10:47 p.m. in a quiet neighborhood in Columbus, Ohio. The rain was hitting my windows like small, accusing fingers, and the only light in my living room came from the lamp beside my worn-out couch. Her phone kept buzzing against the marble countertop, over and over. The sound wasn't loud, but in the silence of my small house, it felt deafening. And when I glanced at the screen and saw the words unknown number, urgent, my chest tightened in a way I can't fully explain. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in choosing integrity when no one is watching, take a moment right now to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps these real emotional stories alive. Rachel Bennett had moved in next door just 3 months earlier. She was in her early 30s, with tired eyes and a polite smile that never seemed to reach them. I'm Michael Carter, 38 years old, a high school history teacher who had grown used to silence after my divorce 3 years ago. My days were predictable: work, microwave dinner, late-night television, sleep. Rachel's arrival had been the first change in my routine in a long time. She was friendly but careful. She waved when she got her mail. She brought over banana bread once, still warm, wrapped in foil. She mentioned she worked remotely for a healthcare company and had moved to Ohio for a fresh start. That was all she ever said about her past. That evening, she had come over in a rush. Her car wouldn't start, and she needed to borrow my phone to call roadside assistance. She had been flustered, strands of auburn hair sticking to her damp forehead from the rain. After making the call, she thanked me, promised to return the favor someday, and hurried back outside when the tow truck arrived. It wasn't until an hour later that I noticed her phone sitting quietly beside my sink. And now it was buzzing. I told myself it wasn't my business. I even turned it face down, but the buzzing didn't stop. It vibrated across the counter slightly, inching closer to the edge with every call. Finally, I picked it up, not to unlock it, just to stop it from falling. That's when another notification lit up the screen. Please respond. We need confirmation tonight. My stomach dropped. It wasn't curiosity that pulled at me, it was fear. Fear that something terrible was happening. Fear that maybe she was in trouble. The message preview disappeared before I could read more, but not before I noticed a second notification underneath it. A banking alert. Large transfer scheduled. I felt like I was standing on the edge of something I didn't understand. For a long moment, I just stared at the phone. My reflection looked back at me on the dark screen. Tired eyes, unshaven face, a man who had spent too many years trying to do the right thing and still ending up alone. I placed the phone back down, but I couldn't ignore the feeling that something was wrong. 10 minutes later, there was a knock on my door, sharp, urgent. When I opened it, Rachel stood there, breathless, rain dripping from her coat. Her eyes weren't just tired now, they were panicked. She looked past me toward the kitchen counter and then back at me. Her voice was steady, but her hands were trembling slightly as she asked if I had opened her phone. The question hung between us like a loaded weapon. In that moment, I realized something powerful. Trust isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in seconds like this, when you have every opportunity to betray someone, and you choose not to. I told her I hadn't unlocked it, that it had been buzzing non-stop, but I didn't look. I walked to the kitchen, picked it up carefully, and handed it to her. Relief washed over her face so visibly that it almost hurt to see. Her shoulders dropped. She closed her eyes briefly, like someone who had just stepped away from the edge of a cliff. And then something unexpected happened. Instead of leaving, she sat down at my kitchen table. The rain continued outside, steady and relentless, and the room felt smaller somehow. She held the phone tightly in both hands, staring at it like it was a ticking bomb. Then the truth came out. Rachel wasn't just starting over, she was running from a financial nightmare that had followed her from Arizona to Ohio. Her ex-fiancé, Thomas Grady, had taken out business loans in her name during their engagement. She hadn't known until debt collectors started calling. Lawsuits followed. Her credit was destroyed. Her savings were nearly gone. And tonight, she had received notice that a final automatic transfer, everything left in her account, was about to be withdrawn to settle part of the fraudulent debt. She had been fighting it legally for months, but the system was slow and the damage was fast. The urgent messages were from her attorney. If she didn't confirm a document tonight, the transfer would go through. She had left her phone, the one thing she needed. As she spoke, her composure cracked. Not dramatically, not loudly, just a quiet breaking, like thin ice under too much weight. She admitted she was scared I had seen the banking alert. Scared I would think she was irresponsible. Or worse, dishonest. What struck me wasn't her financial mess. It was the shame she carried, the isolation, the way she had been trying to rebuild alone. I told her something I hadn't told many people. After my divorce, I had spent months believing I was the failure in the story, that maybe if I had been more attentive, more successful, more interesting, my ex-wife wouldn't have left. Shame is heavy. It convinces you that you have to solve everything by yourself. That night, in my small Ohio kitchen, two broken people stopped pretending. Rachel logged into her email and completed the confirmation with trembling fingers. The transfer was halted, at least temporarily. When she finally looked up, her eyes were red but steady. Over the next few weeks, things changed in ways I didn't expect. Not in some dramatic, cinematic romance, but in small, meaningful ways. We started having coffee together in the mornings before work. I helped her organize documents for her case. She encouraged me to apply for a department head position at school that I had been avoiding out of fear. We didn't fix each other. We just stood beside each other. Her legal battle wasn't easy. There were setbacks. Days when another letter arrived. Days when she looked like she might pack up and disappear again. But she didn't, and I didn't retreat into my safe, quiet routine either. 6 months later, the court ruled in her favor. The fraudulent debt was officially cleared. I was there when she received the email confirmation. She didn't scream or jump. She just exhaled, long and deep, as if she had been holding her breath for years. The night she left her phone at my house could have gone differently. I could have unlocked it. I could have judged her. I could have assumed the worst. Instead, I chose restraint. And that simple choice became the foundation of something neither of us knew we needed: trust. Today, Rachel still lives next door. Sometimes we joke about the night of the buzzing phone, but we both know it was more than that. It was the night we learned that integrity matters most when no one would ever know if you broke it. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that small decisions can change entire lives, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe for more stories that restore faith in humanity. And before this video ends, I have one special request for you. Comment the word integrity below if you believe doing the right thing, especially when it's hard, still matters in this world. Because sometimes, the biggest turning points in our lives don't come from dramatic rescues or grand declarations. Sometimes, they come from choosing not to open a phone.